Royal Romance Under Pressure: How William and Kate Survive the Spotlight. They were supposed to be the fairy tale everyone believed in. The prince and the girl from next door. But the truth is, their love didn't survive the spotlight because it was perfect. It survived because they learned how to disappear inside it. From the very beginning, Prince William and Kate Middleton were watched more closely than almost any couple of their generation. Every glance, every silence, every step taken side by side was turned into a headline, a judgment, or a prediction of collapse. What most people never see is how much pressure existed long before the wedding, and how that pressure never truly eased after it. When William met Kate at St. Andrews, there was no palace choreography. No royal handlers scripting moments. It was two young people finding comfort in each other while trying to live as normally as possible. But even then, the weight of William's future was already present. He wasn't just a boyfriend. He was a future king shaped by loss, expectation, and a lifetime of cameras. Kate stepped into that world quietly, without complaint, but not without cost. From early on, she learned that loving William meant being evaluated constantly. Her clothes were analyzed, her family background questioned, her intentions doubted. There was an unspoken test being applied to her, one that no rulebook ever explained. The pressure intensified as their relationship became public. Paparazzi followed her relentlessly. Headlines reduced her identity to cruel nicknames. And yet, William watched all of it happen with a deep fear rooted in his past. He had already seen what the spotlight could do to someone he loved. This is where many people misunderstand William. His hesitations were not about a lack of love. They were about fear. Fear of repeating history. Fear of losing another woman he loved to the same forces that took his mother. When he pulled back, when the relationship paused, it wasn't because he didn't want Kate. It was because he wanted to protect her, even if that protection meant letting her go. Kate's response to that moment reveals the core strength of their bond. She did not chase. She did not plead publicly. She stepped back into her own life, built resilience, and quietly proved that she could survive both with and without him. That independence changed everything. When they reunited, the dynamic shifted. William was no longer shielding Kate from the spotlight by keeping her at a distance. He was learning how to stand beside her within it. That became the foundation of their survival. Their engagement was celebrated worldwide, but behind the smiles was a deliberate choice. They had waited long enough to be sure that this life, with all its restrictions and invasions, was something they could face together. Kate did not marry into illusion. She married into reality. Marriage did not reduce the pressure. It multiplied it. As Duke and Duchess, and later as Prince and Princess of Wales, every phase of their life was expected to symbolize stability for the monarchy itself. Their relationship became more than personal. It became symbolic. That symbolism is heavy. Every argument must be private. Every disagreement invisible. Every challenge managed without public vulnerability. And yet, they are human. They are parents. They are partners navigating stress that most couples never encounter. The early years of parenting brought new tension. Balancing royal duty with raising young children under constant observation required constant negotiation. William's work as a pilot. Kate struggled to define her role while recovering physically and emotionally from childbirth. These were moments where the spotlight offered no patience. What held them together was not grand romance. It was routine, normalcy, shared decisions made away from cameras, school runs, kitchen conversations, quiet support during moments the public never sees. They learned early that the spotlight thrives on reaction, so they stopped feeding it. Silence became strategy. Consistency became protection. They chose steadiness over spectacle. The media often looks for drama in their calm. But calm, in this case, is not emptiness. It is discipline, a deliberate refusal to let external noise dictate internal reality. When family tensions emerged within the royal household, that discipline became even more crucial. William found himself navigating loyalty, responsibility, and grief all at once. Kate became his anchor. Not by speaking for him, but by grounding him. Their unity during turbulent periods was not accidental. It was built on years of learning when to speak and when to hold back. When to show warmth publicly and when to retreat privately. There were moments when the pressure visibly showed. Brief looks of strain, Subtle shifts in body language. These moments are often interpreted as cracks. In truth, they are signs of endurance. Love under pressure does not always look like romance. Sometimes it looks like patience. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like choosing not to respond when provoked. Kate's role evolved quietly. She became more confident, more assertive in her causes, but never detached from William's emotional landscape. She understands his history. She understands his fears. That understanding creates a bond that is not performative, but deeply functional. William, in turn, learned to trust her strength. He no longer feels the need to shield her from every storm. He stands beside her, knowing she can withstand it. Their survival is rooted in shared values. Privacy, family, emotional safety. These values guide their decisions even when public expectation demands more drama, more access, more revelation. They also share a long memory. They remember what happened when boundaries were ignored. They remember the cost of constant exposure. That memory informs every choice they make today. As parents, their focus sharpened. Protecting their children from the pressures they themselves endured became non-negotiable. This united them even further. Every school choice, every public appearance involving their children is carefully considered. The spotlight still follows them. It always will. But it no longer defines their emotional center. They have built something insulated from constant scrutiny. Their love story is not about escaping pressure. It is about adapting to it without losing themselves. About learning how to exist authentically in a world that constantly demands performance. When people say William and Kate are boring, they misunderstand the depth of what they are seeing. Stability is not the absence of emotion. It is the result of emotional labor done privately, consistently, and with intention. They have survived not because they are immune to pressure, but because they respect its power. They manage it. They contain it. They refuse to let it dictate their bond. This is the quiet truth behind their public image. A relationship shaped by caution, trust, and an unspoken agreement to protect what matters most. In a world that profits from spectacle, they chose endurance. In a system that thrives on exposure, they chose boundaries. And in a spotlight that never turns off, they learned how to stand together without losing the light between them.